on today. Oh, and I didn't care, I just walked away. 'Cause they think I love them, but I love them.
Hi guys, welcome back to my page. If this is your first time here, my name is Gigi. If you've been here before, welcome back. So today I wanted to just make a video on my past experience as an Instagram model. So this video is for any young lady who is considering becoming an Instagram model, or anyone who is struggling with comparing yourself to Instagram models. So if you are interested in this, I'm assuming you are because you clicked on this video, but stay tuned. Okay, so for those of you who do not know, I used to be an Instagram model. I started out being an Instagram model. I think I started in 2014. I want to say it was like the beginning of January 2014. I started modeling on Instagram, and within that year I had gained so much following. I had help from someone close to me. We pretty much partnered up. My name on Instagram was Royal Gigi. So some of you may know who I am, many of you may not. At the time that I stopped modeling, which was in 2016, I believe, I had about 21,000 followers. So at that time, this was 2016 now. So at that time, 20,000 followers meant that you were really going somewhere. It meant that you were really doing it big. You weren't there yet, but I think that the perception was that people knew that you were going somewhere, like you had a lot of potential. 20,000 was a lot. So I just want to talk about why I decided to stop modeling. So the first reason that I decided to stop modeling was that I honestly just didn't feel, I didn't feel it in my spirit. I guess, I don't know, it was just something in my spirit just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like it was my purpose anymore. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed it, but I feel like it started to go in a direction that no longer served my spirit, no longer served me. So when I started out modeling, let me just backtrack. So how I got into modeling was I was working at Wendy's. This was in like 2011. I was working at Wendy's, and this guy came through the drive-thru, and he asked me, do I model? And he asked me, and I told him no. And he asked me if I had any interest in modeling, and I told him yeah. He told me he was a photographer. He gave me his card. He told me he would shoot me for free for the first time. So I reached out to him. Him and his wife had a studio, so that made me feel comfortable. And yeah, so I booked a photo shoot with them, and I actually ended up doing 2 different photo shoots, and I ended up really enjoying it. I grew up watching America's Next Top Model, as many of you probably did, and I just really admired the ladies on there, and I wanted to be a model. I just never really pursued it. Before that experience, I did take a modeling class at this modeling agency, this local modeling agency. I did that my junior year of high school. I paid for that myself, like I really wanted to do it. So that was me trying to learn the different things about modeling, how to walk, how to sit right. And I felt like I was really doing something by taking those classes. And don't get me wrong, they did help. Some of the things I honestly still use. It just became second nature. But yeah, so that was when I was about 16, 17. I took those classes. So I knew I wanted to model. So after that photo shoot, I ended up moving to New York, and I did a lot of amateur modeling there. Please don't go back and look at those pictures. But I did that, and then I moved back home to Virginia, and that's when I started to do the Instagram modeling. So the things that I started out enjoying it. You know, we came up with different themes for photo shoots, and I enjoyed it. I had fun. I had fun shopping for the different things, looking up different pictures and trying to get inspiration from different places. I will post some pictures up while I'm talking. So so you'll get to see some of the photo shoots that I did. And some of them were really nice. But then I feel like it got to a point where I was going in a direction that just didn't suit me. And I think that was another thing. I felt like it started to, I felt like I started to try to be someone that I'm not. So it got to a point where I was doing like sexier type of photo shoots, and I was promoting champagne and alcohol, and people were trying to meet with me, typically men trying to meet with me to promote liquor, and that just wasn't me. I think for a long time I've known that my heart has been with helping women and helping young girls, and for me, I didn't want to tarnish my name by getting into promoting alcohol. I'm thinking about helping little girls, young girls, but then on the other hand, I'm sitting here doing these sexy photo shoots and promoting alcohol. So to me, it just didn't align with my vision for myself. So I had to. I'm sorry if you hear my daughter in the background. But yeah, I really had to have a heart to heart with myself and decide and make a decision, as to whether I'm going to go for this immediate satisfaction, immediate exposure, or am I going to take the long haul and, work on what it is that I want to work on? Because at that time, I had no idea what I wanted, how I wanted to help young girls, but I knew that that's where my heart was. So I decided to not model anymore. Another thing is I did not like who it was turning me into. I felt like I was getting to a place where I was becoming vain and self-absorbed. And I don't know if it really was apparent outwardly. Like, I don't know if other people noticed it, but and I think this is a big problem with social media now. But I started to become obsessed with how I look in pictures. I wanted to always look nice. And actually, part of me, I still wanted to be the person that I was. I still wanted to be comfortable if I run to the store. But the team that I was working with encouraged me, your name is growing, and local people are starting to know who you are. Local people who already, you're more likely to run into them, and they're going to be looking at how you look, how you, whether or not your hair is done, your makeup is done, your outfit, your toes, your nails, all of these things, and you have to pretty much look perfect at all times. So to me, that's not realistic. And that wasn't what I wanted. I want to have the choice to run to the corner store, or not the corner store, but run to the gas station looking like a bum. Not completely like a bum, but just comfortable. So I agreed to that, and I started to do that. And I feel like I started to become more vain. I was taking more selfies. I was, recording videos, the little short clips, but things like that. I just didn't. I didn't like who it was turning me into. I didn't like the fact that I was starting to become self-absorbed. I've never liked people like that. So I feel like I was turning into the type of person that I don't personally like. Another thing, I became obsessed with just my image, and I was encouraged to pretty much always walk into any room like I am the bleep. And while to a certain extent that's okay, you always want to walk into a room and be confident in who you are and what you bring to the table, but it almost came off as if I should make other people or other women wish that they were me, almost make them feel inferior to me. And that's not me. That is not me by any means. I don't want to make any woman feel insecure about themselves. I don't want any woman to look at me and compare themselves to me. And I know that we all do it almost naturally, but it's not, that's not something that I'm trying to push. And I feel like when it comes to being an Instagram model, a lot of times their job, the goal is for them to make others want to look like them, to make others want the body that they have, to make others want the face that they have. Why do you think so many people are getting plastic surgery? Why do you think so many people are getting tummy tucks and boob jobs or BBLs? Like, because people want to look like these Instagram models. People want to look like the Kardashians. Heck, some of the Instagram models are the ones that's getting all the plastic surgery. So I would never encourage another woman to do that. What you do is your business, but I personally wouldn't encourage someone to do that. And I wouldn't want to encourage them intentionally, but I also wouldn't want to encourage them in a more discreet way by making it seem like I am the best and I am like all that, like, because that's not the case. And even if I think that about myself, my job, I shouldn't like force that. I shouldn't use that as a weapon to help to cause another woman to feel worse about herself or to feel bad about herself. Like, we are all beautiful in our own ways. So that didn't sit well with me. Another thing that I struggled with while being an Instagram model was dating. I feel like I either had guys that wanted to date me because I looked nice, and some of them knew who I was on Instagram. They reached out to me through Instagram, and then there were people who really wanted to date me, but they couldn't take me serious because here I am on Instagram as one person who portrays a more sexy type of woman and alluring and lustful. That's a good word. Lustful type of woman. And then in person, I'm just like this. I feel like I'm pretty down to earth. I'm not perfect, but I'm like, I feel like I'm cool to be around. So it was just like two different people, and they didn't know which one to believe, which person am I. I feel like on Instagram I came off as probably more superficial versus in person I wasn't. Like, I was driving a 04 Hyundai Sonata and I did not care to get a new car. At the time I was staying with my brother, renting out a room, and then I ended up getting my own apartment. It wasn't anything expensive or like luxurious or anything like that. Like, I lived well within my means, but on Instagram you wouldn't know that. I even had I had times where there was one guy that I went on a date with, and he like literally showed me one of his accounts, and like the money was just going and going and going, and he had like, I don't know if it was like 10 grand, and the money was just constantly calculating. But I'm not like a gold digger, so for me it was like I felt like it was coming off as he was trying to buy me. And I feel like a lot of Instagram models come off as that, for a man who is okay with just having women and they just, they can just spend money on them and they don't really have to put in the work. I feel like a lot of Instagram models come off as that, and that's not me. That was never me, and it never would be me. So it just got in the way of relationships. I even got to a point where I questioned some of my friendships, people I met, and then just some of my friends, where it's like, well, are you really here for me because you care and I'm like, I'm really your friend? Or is it because you see the exposure that you can get from taking a picture with me and tagging me in it, or taking a picture of me and me tagging you in it? Like, which one is it? And you start to lose trust in people. You start to feel like people are only after your name, or people are only after the exposure that they can get from being around you. And don't get me wrong, I definitely have some genuine friends, and all of them, everyone that I came across could have definitely been genuine, but being in that position, you really start to question like people's intent. So yeah, Another thing that this is a big one, especially for anyone who is struggling with comparing themselves to other people, or just overall just being insecure with yourself and not really being comfortable with who you are. The other thing is just that I feel like the negative comments that I received outweighed the positive comments. So there's this one comment that I remember, and I can tell you, I know I got a lot of positive comments. I got a lot of, oh, you are so cute, you know, you look so good, you look great, or, you know, you really did that, or whatever. But there's this one comment, and I can't recall like an exact positive comment, and I know I got a lot, but there's this one comment that's still to this day is stuck in my head. I had recorded this like really quick clip, and I'm gonna see if I still have it. And I guess it started out at a bad angle, and I will agree to that. But at the time, I didn't feel like it did. And this girl commented, and she said, "You cute, but you should not do that angle." It was something like that. And I just remember, I don't remember word from word, obviously, but I just remember that I felt like I had did something so bad, and it almost felt like that was like my first negative comment, and it probably wasn't. I honestly didn't control my social media pages like much at all. So I didn't see a lot of the comments. I didn't really care to see it. The only thing that I did care about was when the person responded to things for me, like, please, like, focus more on the women and not the men. The men are going to comment regardless. Like, I know that I'm attractive, and men like Instagram models. Like, I know that they're gonna comment, but I want to reach the women. That's my goal. So I wanted to focus more on responding to women than men, and that honestly did not happen. But that's another story. So, but that comment stuck in my head for a long time, and I felt like, you know, you just get this pressure you get this pressure to be perfect, and that didn't sit well with me. I will rebel. I'm one of those people who will go against the grain. I don't follow the crowd. I don't, and don't get me wrong, I do, I may follow trends and things like that, but I will think for myself. So if there's a trend that I don't like, I'm not going to follow it. If there's, even down to lingo, like, I don't follow, there's a lot of things that people say nowadays that I just don't say. I just feel like I don't want that, you know, as a part of my vocabulary. So, but yeah, I will go against the grain because that's just me, and I don't want to conform to what everyone else is doing. I don't, and neither should you. If there's something that you are sort of battling with, like, should I do this or should I not? Should I wear this or should I not? Go with whatever makes you feel most comfortable. Whatever makes you feel the most like yourself, go with that. So, another thing as far as the comments, and I guess the lesson learned in that is, what's his name? Gary Vee. I watched a video of one of his videos recently, and he said that, paraphrasing, but a way to not get down about the negative comments is to not focus on the positive. So just be you. Don't focus on the positive, because if a lot of people today, they focus on the positive so much, so to the point where if they get a negative comment, they're ready to fight, and they're going back and forth with the person in the comments, or they will delete someone. And I get it. There are a lot of people who will leave some nasty, ignorant comments, and it's just completely uncalled for. Like, where is your heart at for you to actually take the time out to leave this nasty comment under my picture or my video? You know, I get that, but I feel like there's times where people have become so reliable on positive feedback. Like, all they want is the validation, to the point where anything negative or anything that goes against what they see or what they believe or what they feel, even if it's presented in a positive or constructive way, If it goes against what they feel or they think, then they are ready to block you, or they are ready to they're ready to block you, or they're just ready to go back and forth with you. And that's why I love Gary Vee's statement as far as don't pay attention to the negative or the positive. If you don't pay attention to the positive so much, then when you hear something negative, you won't care so much. So I love that. So anyone who's struggling with something like that, please take that advice. Don't focus so much on the positive, and the negative won't bother you so much. Just be you, and there's going to be people who like you, and there's going to be people who just don't. So keep that in mind. Ultimately, I just realized that being an Instagram model, it just wasn't my purpose. At least not in the way that I was doing it, the way that I was going about it. It was clear that I was more so seeking the attention of men, or seeking, it was just not even just seeking the attention of men, but also trying to make, I don't even think it's necessarily the Instagram modeling that caused me to have the mentality of making other women feel inferior to me. It was more so what I was taught. I was taught a lot of wrong things. So I was taught a lot of things that just were wrong. And I definitely had to sort of rewire my mindset once I got out of modeling. So I stopped modeling in 2016, and it was sort of a tough decision because I saw my future in it, but at the same time, I knew ultimately how I want to be perceived, and how I want people to know me. So that was a decision that I just had to make, and that's what I did. I'm trying to think. There was even a time where I was on the verge of getting onto one of the Love and Hip Hop versions. I think it was Miami, Love and Hip Hop Miami. I don't even know if they ever came out with that. I don't watch it. But yes, I remember they were trying to come up with a storyline for me. And the storyline, crazy, was that I would be in a relationship with this guy who was also in a relationship, who was also with another woman, and we were both okay with that. We were both okay with the guy being with both of us, and that is not me. And it just goes to show that these shows that y'all watch they are not real. So they're literally meant to create drama. They're literally meant to keep people engaged because of the drama. We love drama. We do. A lot of us love a good story. So that's what they're giving you, a really good story. Honestly, I don't think they're that good, but they're giving you stories. So I'm not gonna, this video is already long enough, but overall, that's why I stopped modeling. I've gotten the question a lot, do you model? You should model. Or what happened, do you still model? And for the people who are wondering if I still model and why I don't model anymore, this is why. It just was not me anymore, and it never really was me. The style, the way in which I was modeling. Being an Instagram model is completely different from being a professional model, and anyone who does professional modeling, I'm sure, can tell you that it's completely different from being an Instagram model. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope that you got something from it. If you are an Instagram model and you have shared some of the same experience that I've shared, please leave a comment below. If it's different for you, please also leave a comment below. If you have different experiences, or if you are an aspiring Instagram model and you're kind of on the fence about it, and this video has helped you make your decision, please leave a comment and just let me know, what you've decided to do, and just how this video has helped you or spoke to you. So I will see you guys next time in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.